John Davis, absolutely one of the best.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis doing what true crimers do.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
Mr. John Davis. John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
This guy John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime. Maybe that's where I've heard that name before.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis, and it's good to see you, John. How are you?
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True.
Hey, John Davis.
John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime kicks butt.
Tune in and watch John Davis True Crime. You will love it. It's one of the best channels on YouTube. Tune in. It's John Davis True Crime.
Good morning. My coffee cup, my hat, match? Is it on purpose? Yes. Accessorize, people, accessorize. TGIF. Last show of the week. I'm pumped. Seems like it's been a long week. Messy Jesse, new member. Welcome, Jesse. Where are you from? Tell us about yourself. Sorry, I let my membership lapse, LOL. Oh, you're that Jesse. I got it. Welcome. Man, I tell you what. Hold on. I made myself I promise. I'm going to really try to stick to giving the flyer a bunch of airtime, because I think personally that's as much as I can do to help. I can talk about what's been going on lately, and I tell you, I personally think if you want to know what's going on, what's real and what ain't, what's news and what ain't, follow this dude Nick Barris. He's a news guy. He's on Facebook. This cat is on top of it. He addresses a lot of the rumor stuff via somebody that has a relationship with law enforcement. Right? He actually has that connection with law enforcement, has that inner vibe of the situation. He kind of he did a Facebook Live yesterday, and he talked about some stuff. I got the highlights of it, what he said, and it cleared some stuff up fairly quick. Exclusive update. Not Sebastian's pants. Sebastian Rogers disappeared more than 2 months ago from his Centerville home in Sumner County, Tennessee. I told you earlier today how a YouTuber who has been helping in the search for Sebastian discovered a pair of sweatsuit-style pants last night. The pants resembled what Sebastian was wearing the night he disappeared. They were collected and analyzed by authorities. I just heard back from Sumner County Sheriff's detectives. After examination, the pants found are believed to be unrelated to Sebastian Rogers. We are still following up on all leads and tips. Okay, then. What about the photo of someone who looks like Sebastian at a North Carolina visitor center over the weekend? Authorities are telling me they are still investigating that alleged sighting. So now word yet on whether they believe the person in that photo to be Sebastian. Keep those tips coming at 100 TBI. Fine. Nick is kind of on the same thing. I'm on the same page with Nick in that he doesn't seem to think the photo's Sebastian. And I don't either. But I pray it is, you know. But that's where Nick's at with it. So that I don't. It seems like that would have been very fast to have ruled it out by DNA. I'm just wondering if maybe the size was way wrong, or how it got back that fast. You know, can you get DNA and stuff that fast? Or they just wasn't even the right size, and they went that way. They wasn't his. I'm not sure. Morning, Sally Carson, Messy Jesse, Poppy Red. I'm that bee mama bear, not a drama on a burnt dirt. I don't know. I think though, if you really want to like keep up with the actual facts about, you know, what's being said, he's the man to follow. And you know, it's awesome that he addresses that kind of stuff. You know, I think it's important to get that out and get it out fast to squash rumors. You know, somebody was saying they think where they were found had been searched previously. I'm not sure. So I don't know. Apparently, though, I'm thinking they had to. I'm thinking it was something that they just knew that wasn't his. I think it might have just been the size. I don't know. Maybe they'll specify it some. Well, no, I doubt they will. They're just going to say that ain't his. How can they still be investigating it? It's either Sebastian's or it isn't. Well, they're saying it isn't. Now the picture, as far as I know, they're looking at video and everything over that picture still. I don't think they've come to a clear decision on that yet. You know, I don't know. When they get the footage, see, we got a still shot. You know what I'm saying? When they get the footage, because I mean, if you think it is him or if you think it ain't him, I still got it. Let's take a look at it. I'll kind of help explain what I mean. A lot of this, the angle is just so hard to make out a lot of the detail. Now, I'm sure it looks like him, but I'm really interested to see the face of who this is. You can't get a great look at it like that, you know? It's not a great picture. You get a good idea. A lot of people have been saying that this person's hair looks darker than Sebastian's. I've heard quite a bit of that. That's here. There's Sebastian's. I don't know. That could be a lighting thing to me. His does look lighter, though, doesn't it? But, you know, who knows? I think this picture don't. See, his hair does look lighter, don't it? Then if you look at the other one, the hair is darker. Ain't it? Much darker. My opinion. Is that how y'all, what are y'all saying? To me, it looks like the hair is so much darker in that picture than the known picture of Sebastian. Yeah, I heard about the lady that called in the crime stories obsessed. And then Chris Proudfoot called in. Sebastian's nose looks wider. Zoom and look down the nose. Hair and eyebrows, both very dark. And that's a good point. I didn't even really look at the eyebrows in the other one. Darker hairs. His eyebrows look darker than his hair does. This person here, though, man, that hair is extremely Looks really dark to me. I mean, if you look at the blonde and how blonde hers looks, his looks the polar opposite. Like that looks like some really dark hair, don't it? Or is it just me? Kind of looks like he's getting shaded by something too, though. But I really think that hair looks pretty dark to me. Do people dye their eyebrows? Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, I think people, I don't know. I have to ask about that. I don't know, actually. I would assume, though, yeah, I mean, I know women do. I guess if you was trying to change your appearance, you know, I don't guess anybody'd be, you know, against it. I need to open up the phone line. I've been sitting here BSing. Forgot all about it. It's Phone 'em in Friday. I'll be out here. Booyah. It is open. I'm going to have to get out of my app. You got an opinion about anything? Anything from the whole week of true crime we've discussed here or anywhere else? You want to tell us a story? Phone lines are open. I don't know. To me, I just, it don't make sense that, you know, you'd have this missing kid out and about. Because, I mean, it's obvious if somebody has Sebastian, they know they're not supposed to have him. So you wouldn't think they would be letting him out anywhere. You would think, I don't know. I hate to poop on it because I don't want to discourage people because, I mean, even in the circumstances about how the picture came to be, I'm glad that it was, you know, looked into because it could happen. You know, we don't know the circumstances. The circumstances, all we know is what we've been told. We don't know where he's at and how he could have got there. Could it be a custody thing? Doesn't seem so. Doesn't seem like it. You know, most of the times when it's something like that, because a lot of people are about this, you know, somebody's took him. Well, it didn't seem like custody was an issue, and to where one was against it that much, in my opinion. So I think that kind of takes that out of it. I don't think we're ever going to. Well, I mean, I think we may actually end up finding out who that is one way or the other, because they say there's footage there. You're going to get license plates and other stuff. You know, I'm hoping they can get to the end of it and squash it one way or another, because until they get to the bottom of it, there's no way anybody could really, in my opinion, ever say that's for sure not him. Not off that picture. I don't know how you could ever guarantee that. If the picture's legit, and I see it going both ways on that, now I don't know. Looks legit to me. I watched the evening recaps with Nate Eaton. Is that good? I'll check that out too. The dude that puts this out there, though, it's great that he will squash a rumor instead of just ignore it, you know. Neither paid child support. They agreed to transfer him once summer came. Doesn't make sense. It's a custody thing to me. See, that's what I'm saying, man. It doesn't make sense at all that this is some kind of custody. Somebody took him for some reason. You know, I do not see in what realistic world that makes sense. And I'm not trying to shit on people's theories either, because I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows, right? But I try to bring some kind of reason to everything. You know, what's more likely, you know, try to think about it in a scientific fashion. You got to have control groups. How would somebody do this? What are they doing? You know, this kind of thing. Make comparisons. I don't know. But I know a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense that you can rule out. And I think one of them on this point is that he left on his own and had no help. I think that's ruled out. I think in 60 days we would have found him 100%. Well, and what makes more sense that he would leave the house that condition with nothing, no shoes, none of his stuff with him, or that when he left that house, he didn't leave walking. And I hate to say that, but I mean, it makes no sense, you know. It makes no sense. I think whatever it is, it wasn't his idea. I really do. I hate to say that. To me, and I don't know, maybe I put too much into stuff, but to me, one thing that really set out was the story Seth tells about the anthill, and I so much can believe that. Like I said, I don't understand, you know, autism super well, but I think anybody can understand having a bad experience like that it could put something into you that would make sure that experience didn't happen again. And I feel like it was kind of a situation like that, like what happened with anybody, you know, and that just, I don't understand how he leaves that bedroom with no shoes on and is 60 days later not found without intervention of some sort. So I'm thinking he didn't run away. I think you can rule that out. He didn't run away without help. And what kills you with that is, well, with the help, where's the help coming from? You know, he didn't, I'm sure they have his devices and can look into that. You know, that evidence is there. You look into everything he's logged in on. I'll tell you what, they can probably do a lot more to us than we know as far as invading somebody's privacy to do what it takes to find them. And I, as a parent, I would be willing to sign any waiver the government have. I'd be like, do that Black Ops shit you do, you know, that thing, and tell me what's up. I told Brandy, I think at some point they'll be able to record the whole earth. All of existence will be on DVR somehow, and they'll be able to scan into anything that's within satellite range and tell you, and back up to that point and tell you what happened. I really believe that's coming. But wouldn't Sebastian's scent be more without shoes on if he walked out of the house? I would think his scent would be stronger than having shoes on. That's my understanding too. 100%. To me, and I don't know if we looked into this. I don't know how I come to it, but I remember we come across this the other day, and it makes more sense to everybody that not having shoes on would make him easier to track than if he did have shoes on. The one thing similar with Summer's case and Sebastian's case is the Good Old Boys Club. CP's sister works in the sheriff's department. Strange KP didn't call 911. You know, I always found that suspicious too. You know, that seemed odd to me. That maybe now, I mean, if his sister did work there, maybe that's why he thought he would get some preferential treatment and it would help. I hate to play devil's advocate, but who knows, you know? It doesn't seem likely that I don't know. That does make you wonder, though. It does. It's an odd thing. Most people think, you don't. When you hit that emergency, you call 911. That is going to get you help the fastest of anything. They call the sheriff's department. It's odd. Knowing his sister works there, though, that almost to me makes. See, I hate when things look so obvious that you think there's no way it could be that simple. You know what I'm saying? I go back and forth on that all the time. I'm like, there's no way somebody would be that bold and that dumb to do something like that. I think maybe I give people too much credit sometimes. I don't know. We're going to find out, though. I just can't see how in the timeline they had. Now, given you that you can get a lot done from the last time he's seen till the time he's reported missing. Don't get me wrong. See, that almost makes you wonder about if that's by design. Because think about this. What would be the easiest way to get rid of somebody and have the longest amount of time before you had to report them? Would be for it to happen overnight. You could say they were asleep. You were asleep. That gives you the longest amount of time from the last time a person is seen until the next morning. And hers just happened to line up like that. He disappeared. 8 hours later, she reported the disappearance because it was during the night. Is that by design? Or you add in the 3-hour phone call? The 3-hour phone call bothers me more than anything. And the fact that he actually said, yeah, that was normal. Bullshit. I'm sorry. I just speculate on stuff. To me, it seems odd. It seems odd to me that, I feel like there was probably some trouble in the relationship if you haven't seen each other in that period of time. I'm sorry. Am I wrong? It don't seem like 3.5 hours is that far to come in, and he hadn't been in weeks, self-admittedly. If what we're to believe to be true, he's not even mentioning to the locals when he's out on the road that he's married or has a stepson. That, though, is stuff I don't know. You know what I'm saying? How well has every bit of this been fact checked? Not great, I'm sure. I know a lot of what we've heard, though, paints a bad picture. Now, we have heard the ex. I can't completely condemn somebody by the words of an ex when there's a bad breakup, because there's two sides to every pancake. Now, he has a lot of exes. It's hard to defend the guy. I try to play devil's advocate because I think it's better for discussion and thought to not just be locked in on one scenario, to try to look at it from every angle. I think if there was ever one person that would have probably been better off never appearing and speaking outside of like 2 major news interviews, if there was a person that should have stuck to that, it's him. Because now it's like every time he comes on, it's picked apart everything he says, and he comes off bad. He comes off as a straight butt, but yet he keeps showing up. I'm afraid he's going to call here. Hey, JDTC, yeah, heard about you, troublemaker. You're a big blamer. I looked at some of your content. You think D-Dub's a guilty man, according to you. That'd be wild, wouldn't it? You're like, next caller, please. It's like saying you were sleeping isn't an alibi unless there was a security camera on you the entire you were sleeping with the time on it. Yeah, that's true. Yes, they don't accept that, and I know police don't accept that as a credible alibi. You have to have something corroborating that you were somewhere. The fact that CP has to clue us all in is ridiculous. He has to make it crystal clear to everyone. He does. That seems to be like his thing now, don't it? All right, I'm here. Here, I'm going to do my CP rolling up on us impersonation, okay? All right, I'm here. I got to straighten this all out. All this is twisted and wrong, and you don't know what you're talking about. How was that? I think it would sound something like that. Let me clear it up for you. Make it crystal clear. Windex clear to you fellas. I think, now, like I said, I haven't even heard the call that he called into Emma's about. I just heard his call in. And it's, and off of what I know, it is annoying that according to the caller, they didn't report it because their son said that they shouldn't get involved. A sighting or something. I'm not 100 on it. And this was a caller, so I never put a ton of thought onto what a caller says because they're anonymous and, who knows? But I got his point, and I could understand him being mad because what he seemed upset about was they didn't get called in when it happened. And yes, I wished everybody that has one of these signs, the first thing they would do is stop, drop, and call 911. Right then, the second they think that's him, boom, right then report it. Because tips, don't get me wrong, they're helpful even if it's later, but the later it is after the sighting, the less effective the tip is. And you can't save him with a tip. You could save him with calling 911 and clearing that shit up right then and there. If I ever thought I seen a missing child, first thing I would do is call the cops. First thing. Be in hot pursuit if they tried to leave. I'd be following them in my car. It'd be like an episode of Dukes of Hazzard or some shit up in here. Call the cops right then and there. The moment you in your mind think, hey, that could be that missing kid. Nothing should be more important. Right then and there. That's all I'm saying. I just kind of get, though I do get, I could see being angry about it, man, Chris gets triggered when a family member is connected in Sebastian's mysterious disappearance. I'm sorry I'm late. Rags is sick and I've been up tending to her since 3 o'clock. All right, go ahead and call in, Lip Lock. Since you're the one that complains I never take calls. Ain't nobody calling. You can have a conversation with me. You can tell me what you think about all this. They're going to say a prayer for Rags. Rags will be all right. Absolutely, John. I would try to stall them, call 911, and video everything. Absolutely, man. And the second I actually thought it was him, that's what I would do. No doubt. And you know, I want to say this. If your son told you you shouldn't get involved and you didn't raise your son super well, if that's his line of thinking is that she shouldn't get involved in a case that could save a missing child, which I think Chris was suspicious of the caller, and I think I am too. After the details were worked out, it seemed like a crazy story. It seemed I always have a problem with these, with the fact they report them late. I think anytime the tip's reported late, that's kind of sketchy too. You know, Emma was it was wild. He called in and Emma was kind of like, okay, I see what you're saying. I'll see you later. It's been nice having you. She kind of blew him off, didn't even slow down the show for Chris Proudfoot. Emma wasn't starstruck, I'll tell you that. She didn't seem like super blown away by it being him. She handled it really well, I thought. If you ain't seen it, you need to go check it out. CP said when he and Katie got together, he made her get rid of her cats. Sebastian loved those cats. She chose CP over her cats and Sebastian. I tell you, man, to me, the thing that, if you think about it, for looking at it from the outside, if there is, and I'm not saying there is, this is just a theory. There is trouble in the marriage. To me, that points more toward Katie would have more reason than anybody, but I still don't get why Katie wouldn't have just waited till, you know, he went to live with Seth, just toughed it out that much longer if that it was that big of an issue. We don't know though. Was that an issue? Is that why, you know, he wasn't coming in as often, apparently? Yes. You were saying exactly what I was thinking. My son would be helping me to help if we thought we saw a missing child. My son will be the first to dial 911. Definitely not okay to do nothing. Yeah, you know, and I would like to think I would raise the kind of man that would be like, let me handle this. I got it. Not don't get involved in that. You don't want to know. You don't want to get wrapped up in all that. That's why I'm suspicious of the story. I'm suspicious of the caller. And I'm kind of on Chris's side. It's like bullshit like that don't help. But Chris definitely ain't doing himself no favors. Now it's like he's trying to catch up with Seth, see who can do the most. He likes the call-ins. That's why I'm scared, about ready to call this off. When he was on the other one, he was a surprise visit. The way it lined up. Ah, Chris, first time caller? Yeah, I called to tell you was full of shit and I was going to clear some things up. Yeah. So when Katie gets to that point, when we'll start really learning what's going on. Eventually, at some point, we should be like, well, everybody else is doing it. Jump in and tell my side. Tired of being talked about. Don't be scared, John Davis. Hey, I know how to hang up. And I know how to call 911. Trust me. Big time. Anybody gets any ideas? We'll see. Now I'm gonna be scared when the phone rings if it's somewhere crazy. I can see it now. It'll be like Crane. I don't know where he's at, or I can't make the joke perfectly. Yeah, this is Chris from the Crane. Yeah, I'm cleared up, buddy. You got a bunch of shit wrong just now. Wish we could verify whether Sebastian was going to be a witness in the child. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Child custody case. Wish we could verify whether Sebastian was going to be a witness in the child custody case. You know, if he was, that's bad, but him missing is probably just as bad as anything he was going to say while testifying, you know. First caller.
From
Go ahead, caller.
Well, hello, John.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Look, I got up. I made it to your live, bright and early.
Good. I got somebody to BS with now. What do you think about current events?
You know what? I just hadn't. I was like, if it's him, they'll the law or FBI, TBI, they'll let us know. I hadn't listened to a lot of other people about it.
Yeah.
I haven't. I've looked at the picture, and it does look like him, to me. But, like you said, there are differences. But you know how pictures can be too. You can look at a picture 100 different ways. You can make up what you want out of it.
Yes.
But I just watched a lot on it because I just thought I'm not gonna make myself crazy listening to everybody's theory on it. I'll just wait until some officials come out and say something one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know they're checking into it,
Yeah, I have a feeling they've been there and got video and everything. I mean, that's not something they can ignore.
I haven't heard them come out and say it wasn't him.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to until they knew for sure.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It makes me think they're investigating it.
Yeah, it makes me think that too. When was that picture taken?
Somebody I want to say the 27th is what I was told.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Does that sound right?
And what? Yeah, that sounds about right. But I have not listened to anybody's theory, on
right.
it. I've seen the picture. Said, well, if that is, and when I heard they were investigating it, I thought, well, that's all I need to know about that. Let them go investigate and do their job,
Let me educate you on something.
Educate me. I know I'm always up for a lesson.
The people have been saying backgrounds are wrong. Trees should have leaves on them. Right? Can't be. Well, Nick Barris tells us at different altitudes is what determines that, and he had photos of that place, and the trees are right. So,
oh, really?
That dispels the rumor of the trees in my mind.
I hadn't seen that. I've seen somebody talking about the trees, but I didn't pay that in mind either. I just thought, well, we will find out if there's, if anything comes of it, we'll know.
I'm into dispelling rumors.
So you're saying that the trees, if that picture was taken recently, the trees are right. They wouldn't have leaves on them, right?
That's what, Nick Bear said. He said at that location, because of the altitude and something else, he says that's not true. That's what the trees looked like at that time.
Oh, well.
He dug into it. I'm going to take his word for it because he's a newsman. He's not going to put it out there, I don't think, if he's not sure about it.
I mean, it was a good sighting. I mean, a good tip. Don't give me, because I mean, it looks like he. I mean, I would have called it in right then. I probably would have walked up and said his name. I probably would have took some, a tag number. I'd have done something.
Well,
if I would have thought that was him, I would have been taking a tag number down. I'd have been following him. I'd have been saying his name. I'd have done something. I'd probably been in jail for stalking or something, but that's just what I would have done.
See, my thing is, I would have asked before I would have snapped a picture, I think.
Really?
Well, think about this. Wouldn't you get wigged out if you seen somebody take a picture of your kid?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would.
I wouldn't take a picture of somebody's kid without asking permission, especially a stranger. I would have cleared that shit up right there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, I'd have wrote right on that. I'd have said, "Hey, Sebastian," or just got close and said, "Sebastian." If the kid don't, I mean, I'd have something. And if I would have been my gut feeling thought that was him, and I wasn't getting the response I needed, yeah, I probably would have took that picture and a picture of the car and a picture, the tag. Like I said, try to do something.
I tell you, I'm a weird.
Been like, well, that might be a missing kid. Let me snap this picture and turn it in later. I got somewhere I gotta be. What?
I'm not going to judge him on it. I don't know. I'm just saying personally, that's not the way I would have responded, man. I would have been so blown away by seeing somebody that was missing. I would have had to have dug into it. There's no way I could have snapped a pic and left it at that.
Right. But, I know a lot of people don't think how we think. There's just this little community is such a small amount of people compared to the amount of people that's actually, out in the world. And just letting everybody think like we do. I mean, they might have thought, I'll take this picture and that's my part. I'll turn this in and I got to go. And they wouldn't have been like us because they're not in our world. Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't know what world you are in that you see a missing child and you don't consider that an emergency or 911 worthy. That's all I'm saying.
Me either. But I'm just, they're yeah. I can see people saying, "Oh, I don't want to get involved." Let me just see here. I know people that's like that wouldn't want to get involved. It's crazy. I don't understand it. But
I don't understand it at all. I really don't. To me, that would be like witnessing a bank robbery and just not mentioning it.
Right.
Just standing there and watching.
That's probably what's that. I'm not saying that before I would, not saying something about a missing kid, doing all I could for a missing kid.
Now that you said it, I 100% agree. I probably would be less likely to report the bank robbery than the missing kid.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
Well, get it, y'all. I ain't saying nothing. I'm here to this next red light and all about my business. No, I would turn that in, but I mean, you just got some people. I mean, they don't get involved in nothing. They're just like, ain't saying nothing.
It almost makes more sense to me that you would call it in if nothing else when you decided it was worthy to take the picture. That's just where I can't get past.
Well, that's true right there. If you thought it was worthy, if you thought I agree. That right there, 100%. If you thought that it was important enough to take the picture, then yes.
That makes me feel like that they thought it looked a hell of a lot like him, but they didn't think it was him, and then maybe the picture just got out.
They hadn't debunked it, Dave. I haven't heard nobody come out like law enforcement. I haven't heard law enforcement debunk it, but of course they might have to be trying to find where this kid's at to debunk it. Find out who it actually was or something.
Oh yeah, they have got to get to the end of it, and I don't think it's AI or none of that shit. I think it was somebody there. They took a picture. I feel like if they thought it was him, they would have done exactly what everybody else would have done. They would have called 911 then and there. I think it's just got blown out of proportion now, and we're at where we're at.
Oh, I know you've got some people. That is 100% Sebastian. I would lay my life down on it. And I just seen the picture,
And see, like, I can't say it's not 100%. That's what gets me. I would never tell you that's not him. It could be. It's just the whole origin behind the picture is shady as hell.
Yeah.
To me, that it made no sense.
I called Emma. See, I hadn't went back once, but I'm glad Emma didn't, give us the celebrityhood that he thought it was gonna get.
It was cordial. Emma. Emma don't play that bullshit.
Yeah. Right. I'm glad. I had heard that he had called in to Emma's show, but I ain't had time to go back and watch anything. I hadn't really been on YouTube, but
Emma Jedi mind tricked him. She actually got rid of him instead of like him coming on her show and taking it over. She treated him like next caller.
That's hilarious.
Oh, Emma come out looking like a baller in it. I thought it was great. And was like, yeah, if you ever want to holler at me, you can. I'll see you. It was great.
Did he go up in there cussing and acting crazy?
No, it wasn't no big blow up type situation. He wasn't happy though, because the person that called in was telling this wild story about what I was talking about earlier about their son told him not to get involved in this stuff, and he was mad about that.
Oh, okay. Well, he's mad about something. He's got a little bit of a anger problem, seems like.
I think it's, the oddest thing to me is, I think it's odd that he keeps up with all that. That he, like would be catching Emma's live and stuff, I find that odd. It's like now it's like all these people get into this thing where they want to become a big part of YouTube, and it's mind-boggling to me.
Well, when did he have time to work? Because I thought he went back to work, and usually don't they work pretty long hours?
He said they worked the night shift. Their crane goes 24/7.
I don't know. I know you got a missing son, but you got to go to work, and you're supposedly taking care of your wife, because she's emotionally a wreck. And when do you have time to go on all these YouTube channels and cuss somebody out?
Well, to be monitoring them like that is kind of wild, because I'll tell you, you can go any time of the day and see a live stream that has his name in it 24/7. I'd almost guarantee it. There's one going constantly. Is that what he does in his spare time, is sit around and monitor all that?
And it's a little bit time consuming too to sit there and watch chat, and there's somebody said something about me. Let me call into this show. We go to the next. There's somebody said something about me. But yeah, that's time consuming.
But God, if you really got into him, somebody that's disliked as much as he is in the public, if he tries to like keep up with getting at everybody that has something negative to say, he'll lose his mind.
He might as well just open his own YouTube and he'd take a shortcut just by doing his own YouTube channel, rather than trying to go on everybody else's.
Crane Man, it could be Crane Man 2000. Chris Proudfoot's new channel. You got some shit to say? He'll be here. 24/7, call in. You can get him on his cell phone up in the crane. He ain't missing up a chance. If you're ready to talk smack, he's ready to talk it back.
See, there you go. We saw his solution for him. Maybe he's listening. He can just start his own YouTube channel and
cut out the middleman.
Just cut out the middleman. Yep.
Yeah.
Lord, yeah. Let him just, let him get his own chat with people in there. That way he can see everything people are saying. He won't miss nothing.
I think it's gotten where now you're more likely to see him and Seth, and it didn't used to be that way.
I'm telling you, to me, and that's just my opinion, for educational purposes only, all three of them just seem a little sneaky, shady, just something. All three of them.
A little bit, right?
Yeah. Yes. Especially me hearing Chris say, I helped Sis get his job. We helped him with, it's like patting himself on the back for all the stuff that he's done for Seth. And then you got Seth just kind of taking it, and I'm just like, I wouldn't let that baby talking to me like that.
Their interactions are really weird.
And then him and Katie, Seth and Katie don't even talk at all to each other. But that is their biological kid together. That would be bygones in this situation. Come together to find your missing kid. It's weird. Something's off. It's the whole. I don't understand it. Seems like you would see all three of them as a unit out there, working with the searchers and stuff like that. You don't see that. It's weird.
Well, I don't find it weird that they're not great at working together. I mean, they split up for a reason and all that. But I find it extremely odd how they're never in the same spot at one time, it don't seem.
Well, I mean, and I understand you divorce people for all different reasons, but you have a child together, that child is missing. To me, you would just put all that to the side for a minute and do everything you could to be, working together. Like Seth has hired the PIs. I don't know. What do you think about them PIs, John?
I don't know. I think it's I don't know. I think it's odd that the PIs are as cool with YouTube and stuff. PI work just seems like, to me, it should be really more secret. I don't know.
Yeah. Behind the scenes.
Seems like you would want to have a... Go ahead.
I did hear one of them on Websleuth say a couple of times, yeah, this is something that should be talked about off YouTube, like through a phone call.
I
don't know how much they were liking, everything being put out there like that.
I was
They
joking.
shouldn't have been their ass up there. They shouldn't have been their ass on there in the first place then. They shouldn't have been on West Place.
Well, I'll tell you what. If that would have been a debate between Chris and Seth, it wouldn't have been fair, because Chris would be answering something. Seth would interrupt him. Chris would get mad about Seth interrupting. They would intervene and tell Seth to continue.
Yes, they sure did.
And that happened. That happened multiple times. And I just kept thinking to myself, I would let Chris talk as much as Chris would talk if it was me. Did you notice that?
Yeah, once Seth got up there, they definitely was, you could tell it was a little bit of animosity with them toward Chris at that point.
Yes.
Because at first it was like, okay, Chris wants to come up, of course, anything, blah, 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 blah. But then you got Seth up there, and it's like, now, Chris, you're just being this and you're being that. And let Seth finish. And it went from, we want to squash the rumors, and this is why this, and then it went from they kind of got rude with him after that point when Seth came up.
I thought, it, like I said, it seemed like they favored Seth, and Chris had got himself in that hole, kinda. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, to me, I would have rather heard what Chris had to say, because we still haven't heard as much out of him as he's a better suspect, I think, than Seth. So I'm more interested in letting him talk. Is all I'm saying,
Right. You're more interested in letting him slip up. The more he talks, the more likely he might.
Because I feel like Seth is, to me, I don't see Seth as a hands-on suspect.
I'm not too sure I see him as a hands-on dad at this point, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I question, letting some of the stuff come to light. I would have probably leaned to the side of privacy in a lot of issues myself.
I would have to. And I think he was saying a lot of that because they weren't sharing information with him. But that's no way to, you threw your kid out there like that because you had a problem with Katie and Chris, and that was just wrong, in my opinion. If Sebastian is found and comes home, look at all of that that's just said.
See, that's where I went with it too. In my head, is that for him now would be horrible. He probably would have preferred that not come out, I would think.
Of course.
I really didn't get that move, and that's kind of what bothered me, was because finding that out really bothered me as far as them as being, I don't know how to put it, responsible parents. That really turned the tide for me a lot, him, and he pushed that. Well, then he turned around and was like, I'm working with him. If y'all don't like it, F off. And I was like, that's wild to go there.
I'm going to tell you, the pictures that you see of Sebastian which I know this don't say that he looked well taken care of. You know?
Yeah.
He looked like he was being taken care of. You didn't, I mean, don't you think that he did?
He looked, yes. And, you know, he was around people too. When he had the grievance, he aired it. You know what I'm saying? So I really, deep in my heart, feel like this was an accident. I don't think there was no planning.
Yeah, it's either, it can only be two things. You know, it was an accident, or I don't know. I don't see him walking off with no signs and no sense with him being barefooted. I don't see him walking out of his house barefooted. Like you said, you know, he had that bad experience with the ants and stuff, and he didn't want to go outside without shoes. And a lot of autistic kids, they say that they can travel, like they can put some miles behind them that you wouldn't realize that they could, because of the autism and the way that, you know, there's certain ways they don't feel and don't think, you know. But I don't see him getting all that way without some help and no one seeing him. I don't know. Especially the neighborhood they came from, and
I don't see, that's my thing is too. I never for once thought he didn't have the ability to make it a long ways off. But, you know, now that we're at 60 plus days, I don't think he has the ability to maintain it this long.
Yeah.
Without help. You know?
And I guess that about the homeless camps that they set in some of the socials, they look at the homeless camps, haven't they?
I'm thinking they have, but you know, I think it's people really, you know, want to be hopeful. I leave it open. I mean, we don't know. It's not a possibility, but yes, to the best of my knowledge, they checked into it. My opinion, I think CP or listen to this. In my opinion, I think CP or KP maybe lost their temper and something happened, or they had Sebastian taken somewhere for a reason we don't know. Definitely don't believe the he ran away narrative.
Yeah, that's a hard one to swallow, the running away. Not that he didn't run away, but that he hasn't been seen. No sightings, no scent. I'm not saying that it's not possible for him to have gotten out of the house or anything like that. I just don't think after this long there's just nothing.
Right. It seems highly unlikely, don't it?
Okay, until this picture came out, there has been nothing. That's the same with summer. What did we have? One sighting at a motel. Somebody thought they seen her in a clubhouse. Out of all that time, there's been no tips called in with any sightings of her.
Well, see, Candace claims there's been a few sightings.
How many have we heard of?
From I don't know that I've ever heard of one from law enforcement. I don't know that I've ever heard law enforcement say there was a sighting. Have we?
Was it the one at the motel? Was it in Johnson City? Somebody said they thought they seen her. That they went and checked it out, and they verified that was not her. That's the only one I can remember, and that's been, oh God. 2022 at some point. It's been a long, long time.
Yeah. Tina said, imagine being a child with special needs dealing with what we hear on YouTube from CP. He's kind of high strung, ain't he?
He's very high strung. Very high strung.
I could see that would be bad.
Like that I wonder if he's just like that, like all the time, like you're not holding your fork right. You know what I'm saying? Is it that?
I don't know.
Bad?
You wouldn't think somebody could maintain that. You know?
He definitely needs some anger management classes or something.
Yeah.
Then a lot of people say they understand his frustration. A lot of people say they understand the anger that he's gotten. A lot of negative things said about him, and he's pissed off.
Well, see, I that's what I say is I don't think he's a good dude, but I do understand why he acts like he does.
Yeah.
I could understand being upset when people are saying your parents are doing this wild stuff on private jets and all that, and it would grind on you. But I think I would just remove myself from all that. It's not going to help. I really don't think.
Well, John, do you consider it abuse to walk a kid with a belt on the butt?
No. I wouldn't do it.
I don't either.
I wouldn't do it, but also I don't agree that you should do it to a kid with autism.
Yeah. Because
I got many whippings, and guess what? Mine, there were bruises, red spots. They were, and I'm not saying I can't do it. It's not in me. I'm a different generation, but I don't think it's abuse, except now with a kid that has autism. I think it is actually.
Yeah. I know I want my kids with a belt too, but that's just, I grew up and that's how I was disciplined. So, to me, that's how I learned that, that's how I thought you had to raise kids to get on the mind. I wish I had it to do it, and they'd never get beat or nothing like that. I'm just saying that I'm from a different generation than the generation that we have now that don't want to face kids and want to do general parenting and stuff. I wasn't raised in that kind of generation, though, I was raised in a generation you went and broke your own switches and, you got whippings and, you just made the mind with that kind of discipline.
Yep.
And so when I was raising my kids, that's the kind I made them mind with that kind of discipline, And I would never, ever beat them or hurt them or, how I am. But so I don't consider that I don't think I abuse my kids by any means.
Well, I got plenty of whippings, and it didn't ruin me. You know what I'm saying? When I was little, I was scared to screw up because I knew my dad would bust my ass. I don't know that that's horrible. It didn't ruin me emotionally. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that it's bad that a child notices that if they screw up, that that's going to be some consequences, you got kids these days that's asking their parent, shut up, whoa,
That's what I think it really depends on the heart of the person parenting the child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're doing it because you love your child and you want them to quit screwing up, doing something that's harmful to themselves, that's one thing. If you do it because you want your kid to be scared of you and rule with fear, that's kind of another.
that's why I can't take a lot of that old religion church stuff either. You know, what is it? Spoil the child, spare the child, or something with the rod.
Yeah.
And I can't. And I'm gonna tell you, don't even get me started on church with hiding all of the essay and shit that goes on in them damn churches. I'm telling you.
I tell you, organized religion has really got some shady stuff in a lot of pockets.
It does. It is disgusting.
That dude that preaches and he has the jet, they caught him like getting in his jet he had bought off Tyler Perry. That dude seems more like an evil person than a religious person to me. If you've ever seen him, oh man. It's one of them real rich billionaire preachers. I can't remember his name.
Not Joel Osteen, and I can't take him. There's a lot of them I can't take.
Well, Tina, I'm sorry, Suzette, you have a good day. I'm going to get off here. We're already at an hour 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me get off here. I ain't even paying attention to time.
It was good talking to you.
I'll see you later. All right. Y'all have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
Bye-bye. I like Suzette. Suzette's a good person. She got a good heart. You know, she's kind of like me on a lot of stuff, you know, the way we were raised and stuff. I think it just really depends, like I said, in the heart of the person that's doing it. I grew up where we were spanked. I don't have a problem with it done right, per se. However, I spoke to my son about this because my grandson is autistic, and my son said whipping with a belt, no way. Yeah, my thing is just with an autistic kid, I would be afraid I was whipping him for something that was a result of the autism, and that wouldn't be fair to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that, you know, whatever he could do, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know autism grade. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I just know how I would try to be as fair as possible. And I would always question the behavior he was exhibiting. Was he really trying to be mean, or was it a symbol of autism? And I could never I don't think I could ever come to the conclusion I had a clear enough idea that would make me feel comfortable with whipping him with a belt. My sons, I never had to with them. I threatened them a ton, though, and they think I will, I believe. I don't know about now, but when they was little, I'd be like, I'm going to get the belt, and I'm going to tear that butt up if you don't straighten it out. Hi, Dad, damn you. It's all right. I didn't know you was serious. I thought we was all having a good time. But see, now they kind of use that against me. Oh, I thought you was playing. I didn't mean that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. I think we'll all agree most people wouldn't agree with it. Let's leave it there. And him being public talking about it didn't help him out anymore either, even though he thought explaining it was going to make it better. I think he thought, I don't think he's seen the issue of the autism. I think he just was defending spanking in general, when I think most people wouldn't have had as big a problem with that had there not been for the autism. I don't think he connects it that's why there is the issue. You know, it's going to be a great weekend, though. I hope. Maybe we'll have some good luck, and come Monday morning weekend wrap up, we'll have some hot tea fresh off the presses. Something's done got solved or something. Y'all hit the thumbs up. Y'all been slacking in that department a lot. I hate to bring it up, but algorithm don't like my ass a lot of the time. Thumbs up, it helps that. I want to share common sense with the rest of the world. Because when you look around, some of these people, it ain't so common. Jesse, yes, ma'am. Hold on one second. We're not going anywhere just yet. I actually have to do something real quick. I did see, though, I was going to show y'all something earlier. I didn't get to it. That I think we're going to have a comeback pretty soon with somebody that's been off the tube for a while. Been seeing it brewing. Shit. Jesse, can you send it to me real quick? I got something we want to share with y'all. It's pretty cool. No, hold on. I think I got it. I should. Where's it at? I always brag about not having dead air. Now I'm killing y'all. Send it to me real quick, Jesse. Apparently I don't have it. I'm sorry. Got something y'all want to see. Don't be running off. Y'all just hang out for a minute. And there we go. You're prepared to be amazed. Y'all ain't got nothing else going on. It's Friday morning. Y'all can wait just a minute. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, everyone. Just calm it down. Boom, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom. Almost there. Any second now. You're going to be amazed. I just learned I can even do this today. And I'm going to start practicing it because I figured out how I can show y'all stuff fairly quick after I get it, to where I didn't have a good routine for it before. So now, like, if we got time and nobody's in a hurry, I can bring stuff up to show y'all that people send me actually during the live if we can get it there fast enough, like this. Booyah! That's right. The spawn of Messy Jesse is graduating Middle Tennessee State University. Bachelor of Science in Journalism. Congratulations, Messy Jesse Jr., a.k.a. Marley. Big congratulations. That's awesome, Jesse. I'm so happy. Journalism. We might could. Hey, he looking for an internship? Does that boy of yours need an internship, Jesse? Can you say intern at JDTC? Can you say help him make his memes better? I don't know. Journalism. I'm sure he can sling a meme together too. I'm looking for somebody. Jesse's been slacking lately in the meme department. He can intern at JDTC. Awesome. Burnt Dern will have his paperwork ready for him in the morning. We'll send it to you. Email it. Tell him to have a good weekend, Jesse. You have a great weekend. Burnt Dirt, have you a great weekend. Tina, Suzette, everybody, all of you. And the replay crew have a great weekend. Hopefully something positive will happen over the weekend, and we'll have something fresh for you Monday morning, 9 a.m. Till then, JDTC out.